Well, good morning. Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. Sorry, folks, this one's going to be kind of dark at the start. One of my lights, the battery didn't charge, and so this is the best I can do. It's Thursday morning. Last night, I went on Trucker Coaches Roundtable, Swift Roundtable, and answered a lot of questions. And being Thursday morning, I wanted to share that video with you guys. So before I do, you guys give me a thumbs up, share this video on your social media platforms, and make sure that you're subscribed. Also, look down in the description below for a lot of other great information. I'm not even going to do the intro or anything. This is a long video. So sit back, relax, listen to it. It's not a visual thing, so if you're driving, just put the phone down in the seat beside you and listen to it over your radio as you drive. And thanks for joining me, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. All right, here we go.
You're not currently working with an attorney, we're confident that our team will help you get the money you deserve in as little as the next 30 days. Still think it's too good to be true? Let me tell you about our client, Steven. Now, when Steven first came to us, he was really unsure if his case was going to be worth anything. He was facing a lot of uncertainties in his life, and he didn't know if he was going to get paid for his injury at all. Turns out, after filing a claim with us, he was able to take home over $100,000 in settlement from an accident that was over a year ago. It's possible, no matter what you thought in the past, you can get the money you are owed, and probably a lot more than you were expecting. Simply click the button below and answer the questions about your case. And if you qualify, an attorney from our team will lay out a game plan instantly and for free. The fact that you have been through this pain means you deserve to be compensated. Together, we're going to hold the parties responsible and get you the money that you are owed. You deserve more, and we're willing to get you more. So what I want you to do is click the link below and fill out the 15-second quiz. And if after completion it says that you've qualified, it'll ask you for some additional contact details. And someone from our team will reach out and will lay out the fastest game plan for you to get the money that you are owed and get massive compensation for your injury. The YouTube video you were wanting to watch will always be there, but this opportunity and the resources behind it are limited. So click the button below, begin the short process, and we'll be in touch soon.
Everyone, welcome to Truckers Coach TV, and this is the Swift lease driver roundtable tonight, as we promised on every Wednesday night that we will be doing these. Wanted to tell you up front, this channel or this live feed and most all of our live feeds are heavily moderated. You will see moderators in here and things like that. We will delete the trolls, and we got plenty of them that seem to want to follow us all over the place. But we heavily moderate this, and so hopefully we can moderate out the clutter for you tonight. Get down to business and talk about Swift Transportation and the lease program like we're going to tonight. I've got guests that are coming on tonight. We will talk about the MRP lease. We will talk about several other different lease options, and we will talk about other things. So anyway, we've got three guests in the window here. If you need information about Swift, my email is in there along with Todd's, who is also one of the co-hosts here. And you can email either one of us, and then we will get you the information that you need. Also, you can also email or get a hold of one of the other co-hosts on this channel, which is Trucking with Cooper and possibly Lonnie or Swifty Swift Dave, who may be on here as well. So, and that's 404 Trucker Dave for you guys that have been on YouTube for a while. But they may be on here as well tonight. So we don't know. There's a lot of other people live tonight, so you may be catching this on the replay. But there's like 4 or 5 other people live tonight. So I don't know what our viewership will be today. We're up to about 50 right now, live viewers. Normally we carry about 100 or so, but tonight it's a little bit slow. 4 other people are live, so we will get down to the brass tacks. I'm going to invite my guest in at this time, and we will welcome everybody, and then we will um, get down to business. All right, so we got Trucker Todd.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, Trucker Todd, and then Trucking with Cooper. Okay, everybody should be here. All right, Todd, tell me if I can. Can you hear me, Todd?
Yes, I can hear you. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
All right, Lonnie, Katuk Texan is Lonnie Gooding. He's also a lease driver here at Swift. We have a nickname for him, but I won't call him that in this feed. But anyway, um, I'm going to pull this up on my phone here so that we can keep this. We, other shows let these trolls go wild and stuff, and they laugh about it and stuff like that. I'm not that person, so we're not going to let trolls run wild in here. We're going to keep this on topic, and we're not going to address trolls. We're not going to address stuff like that, all this nonsense and craziness that goes along with that. So I just wanted to let you guys know we definitely moderate this channel. I'm going to pull it up on my phone right now so that I can moderate, and then we will have some other moderators in here as well. Some of our normal moderators will be in here as well, like Quick Hit is in here. I see Trucker Todd's in there moderating. Kelly Patterson's in here. Kelly Patterson says he got his start at Swift. Well, that's great. That's awesome. We'll go through here, and I'll say hi to some of the folks. Am I still live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard my phone do something stupid, but I didn't know it almost was like it hung up. But okay, if you guys can still hear me, I can still hear you. So all right. Mr. Polo is here. This Trucking Life, Iceman Norland, Kelly Patterson, Tennessee Kid, Jeremy Snap, Quick Hit, Chris Lacey. We got Trucker Todd, and that's just the people that have Trucking Anonymous and the mayor. So we've got 86 in here right now. Hopefully we'll get over 100 tonight. That's normally what we average, but like I said, 4 of the people are live right now. All right, Todd, I'm going to start out with a fuel surcharge today for lease operators. It went down just a little bit. It's at 55 cents regular, 55.0 even across the board is our fuel surcharge right now. And I will now just welcome you guys on board. And Todd, you got anything to say welcoming in? And then we won't get into any topics just yet. Just welcome you guys in.
Thanks. Yeah, I've got three things whenever we get into it. The fuel surcharge, want to talk about hazmat, and then I want to give a load board update too. But welcome everybody. Glad you're all here.
All right, Tim, how are you?
Yeah, welcome everybody. Glad you can join us, and yeah, we'll get down to brass tacks just here in a little bit.
All right, Lonnie.
It's hard to stop, isn't it?
It's hard to stop. I'm sorry, Lonnie.
Yeah, welcome everybody. I spent all day at the Lancaster yard trying to get some things done in the truck and waiting on a load to come in there. Now I'm finally got my load, so everything's good to go.
All right, well, good deal. All right. Anyway, as we started off the fuel surcharge, a lot of people want to know about the fuel surcharge. It dropped by 0.7 cents to 55 cents even. And I'll hand it over to Todd to, we normally talk about the load board early on. So Todd, anything, you're on those conference calls. I'm not on the load board committee or anything like that. So we rely on you for our load board information. So let us know what's going on with the load board right now.
Okay, so basically, we had another meeting earlier today, a few hours ago, and they only were able to put 10 more people on it instead of instead of 20 like they wanted. So there's now 19 of us on it, or maybe 20. I don't know if they're counting me or not. Basically, they're going to try to add about 20 people every 2 weeks until they get up to about 100 and see how it does. It initially is going to be people that was on the original load board that got canceled. So what that means, from what I'm told, they only have about, I think they said, 20 or 30 people that they can move over that are actually over the road guys. So the good news for everybody is they are saying if you would like to be on it, because they're going to have to start putting some outside people on it, to contact either your OOC or Jerry, the planner, and they can put you on a waiting list. It still may be some time before you get on it, but they are accepting people for to be on that waiting list. And what that's going to mean for me too is right now they're saying they can't get my login stuff to work because um, for some they can only add people that was on the original one. But when they're able to add outside people, they should be able to add me too, and that's when the rubber will meet the road, and we'll find out what's going on with the login issues. But they assured me today that it's a top priority, and it's going really good. So that's good news for everybody that's waiting to get on it.
Okay, I'll add to that. On the waiting list, you can also call rapid response. They can
Yeah,
they can also put you on the waiting list as well. That's how I got put on the waiting list.
that's correct. I forgot to mention rapid response.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to answer a question from last night. This will be super quick. Somebody asked about hazmat. And so I pulled out my contract and read my contract. Again, it's in Schedule D of you guys' contract. Basically, my contract says that I get $35 additional pay if I pull a hazmat load. I contacted Michelle to confirm that, and she said she believed it had gone up to 50, but she said it's not really a big deal because less than 3% of Swift loads are hazmat. So it's some of those. If you don't have your hazmat, it's probably not worth getting if you're going to pull less than 3% of the loads. But that's that information for the guys that wanted to know about that.
Okay, we got a quick question by Marty. Is the fuel surcharge the same or different straight versus MRP? I can tell you straight out, it is the same. It
Yeah.
is right now it's 55.0. That is the same no matter your lease at Swift. So unless you're on a percentage lease, and then I don't know how that's calculated, but if you're on the mileage lease like we are, MRP or straight, you get the same fuel surcharge.
And I talked to a guy yesterday that he was in some kind of weird dedicated account, and his fuel surcharge was different. In the contract, it lists it for those guys as V8, and I don't know what V8 is. But he got paid more for empty miles, but his fuel surcharge was lower. So, but what Jason and I are talking about is a over the road solo driver, your average run of the mill lease purchase guy. That's what the fuel surcharge is in 90% of the cases.
Yeah, yep, that is exactly right. Now we touched briefly on the MRP lease versus the straight lease. We'll kind of get a little bit more in depth in that tonight. I am on the MRP lease. Tim is on the MRP lease. Lonnie is on the MRP lease, but Todd is on a straight lease. And so we will touch the differences about that. I'll kind of explain the MRP lease, and then Todd will explain the straight lease. And then it doesn't matter what you do. I mean, it's a business decision. I'll tell you why I picked the MRP lease. He'll tell you why he picked the straight lease. And it doesn't. It's not a hill of beans amount of difference. It's a difference in a truck and the truck payment and things like that. But as far as compensation goes, we get paid the same. But MRP lease is called maintenance reserve plan, and what that is they call that the MRP. And what it entails is you get right now currently you will get a 19 or a 18 truck to be in the MRP. Okay, 20s and stuff like that are considered straight leases right now. Next year the 20s will be in the MRP, but right now 18s and 19s are in MRP. And what that does is you've got a older truck, like, and they're gently used. I will be honest with you. This is a 2018. It had 313,000 miles on it when I got it. Okay. The difference in this MRP is you get a 80% Swift warranty. Now you pay for that warranty, and I'm going to explain that to you here in just a second, but they cover 80% of your repairs other than wearables. Like they don't cover your tires and brakes and some seals and some things like that. But for the most part, they cover pretty much the engine, all the major components of this truck. They cover at 80%. And I will tell you, I had a wheel seal go out about 3 weeks ago, and under MRP, that was covered at 100%. So I paid nothing for the wheel seal. They covered the whole thing at 100% because under MRP, it's covered at 100%. Now, the telltale thing about this is we pay for that warranty. So in your maintenance account, you will have two maintenance grabs. One 7 cents. That is paying for the 80% warranty that you get for Swift. That is not your money. Okay, it is your money, but it's not your money. It's Swift's money. That goes to pay for the 80% warranty that they cover everything basically on this truck that could possibly go wrong other than tires and brakes and wearable items. But the other one is a 5 cents escrow. It's a maintenance escrow. That is your money. That is your money. They want to see that built up to a $3,000 level where you could cover your 20% of things or even buy tires and things like that. And I'm going to tell you, Swift's buying power is great. Now, I priced chains at truck stops on the way to Utah. They were around anywhere from $200 to $250 a set. Okay? What, and I'm going to ask you, Tim, you can't answer, and Lonnie, you can't answer, but Todd, what do you think I paid for a set of chains at Swift's price?
You probably got 25% discount, maybe?
I got bigger than that.
Wow.
I paid $104 a set.
Wow.
I paid $104 a set. I got 2 sets. I had 1 set already on the truck when I bought it, and so I bought 2 more sets, and I paid $104 a set for those chains. That is buying power, folks. That is buying power, and they pass that discount 100% on to us. But back to the MRP. I was just going to let you know about your buying power, and you can use your maintenance account to buy chains and straps and stuff like that as well. You can use your maintenance account to purchase that stuff. You can also use your maintenance account to, if you take a week off, to pay your truck note. You can use your maintenance account for that as well. Now that's also on a straight lease. That's not just a MRP thing, but they want to see your 5 cents built up to $3,000. After you're built up to $3,000, you can quit the 5 cents if you want to, but if you use it, then you got to go back on the 5 cents to build it back up to 3,000. But I'm going to let mine go because I like to take some time off, and I'm going to let that go over 3,000, and I'll pay my truck note with it, and or whatever. Or if I have a negative balance, I can bring myself out of the negative with it, or all those other things. But I saw the value in the maintenance reserve. Okay, I saw the value in that 80% warranty. This is an older truck. Like I said, it had 313,000 miles on it when I got it. I don't have it turned on. I don't know what the mileage is on it now. But you got a 30-day warranty with the MRP lease. If anything goes wrong with this truck in the first 30 days, Swift's going to take care of it. Okay, at 100% of their costs, not 20% your costs, 100% their costs. They're going to take care of your problems with this lease in the first 30 days. Okay, I had an inverter that went out in this truck. I had a knock sensor that went out in this truck. I've had 2 knock sensors go out in this truck. I had a inverter. What else, Tim? There was something else.
You had that wheel seal blowout.
Well, the wheel seal was after the warranty, but it was still covered at 100%. But that was after the warranty.
Seemed like you had batteries too, didn't you?
Oh, batteries.
Yeah, batteries.
I had all brand new batteries put in it too. Yeah, that is correct. I had that done in Greer. And that cost me nothing. Nothing. And if you know anything about the inverters that come in these Freightliner trucks, they ain't cheap, folks. They ain't cheap. And they spent a lot of money to make this truck right. And they will do that for you on the MRP lease. They will do that on straight lease as well. But I looked at this from the maintenance perspective that when I purchased this truck at the end of the 3-year lease, I have a $30,000. My balloon is only $30,000. Tim's balloon's $30,000. Lonnie's balloon is going to be around $30,000. Okay, so all of our balloons are going to be roughly $30,000. Now we can pay that, or we can finance that. Either way, and we can pay that off, which is another reason I'm keeping my 5 cents going, so that I can have a little bit of cushion to where I don't have to come out of my pocket and pay that whole 30,000. Or I can just go get another truck. I can just say, you know what, give me another MRP truck, or give me a straight lease truck, or give me whatever. But I saw the value in owning the truck, and at the end of the ownership of this truck, it will probably have close to 700,000 miles on it. It still has lots of life. I will have a truck with no truck payment. Now I have to cover all the maintenance at that point because I own the truck. Swift's no longer going to cover the maintenance at 80% anymore, but I own that truck, and it's low cost of ownership. And the way I look at that is 7 cents a mile is not a lot to pay for an 80% warranty that covers pretty much anything. If I lost that one box, $12,000 for that one box, my out-of-pocket expense on that would be $2,400. If the bill was $12,000, my out-of-pocket expense would be $2,400. Okay. Now it's different in a straight lease. I'll let him explain that. You know, I just like the idea of the low cost of ownership, the low maintenance cost, or a lot of the major things being covered on this lease, so I don't have to cover those things. They cover it. Also, we get loaner trucks. If our truck's down for a certain amount of time, we get a loaner truck. And there's lots of, and I'm sure they do that on a straight lease as well. But I'll let Todd tell you about it. And there's just all kinds of different avenues that I found beneficial going on the MRP lease. This is just what I found more beneficial. Now, Tim may find some different things more beneficial. I'll let him touch on what he found beneficial about the MRP.
Well, it goes back to exactly what you were saying. The 80-20. Now, you know, when in my first 30 days, I had like a knock sensor go out and some other jazz. But here recently, after the warranty, I had to replace the radiator and the batteries. So with all that in, that's around $3,000 that between the radiator and the battery. Now I only have to pay 20% of that, so that's what, $600. 600 bucks. So for me, that's why I went with the MRP, and as of now, I'm glad I did. So, but I mean, that's what I find beneficial about it for sure.
Okay. All right, Lonnie, do you want to throw anything in on that or no?
No, not really. It just no, I'm awake. The security of knowing that 80% of the repair is going to be taken care of is what I'm looking for. I'm not like you and Tim. I only got about a year and a half left of driving, and then I'm done. So I'm not looking to own the truck or anything like that. That's my whole plan's changed about 7-8 months ago. So
okay,
that's why I'm doing the MRP lease.
Okay, cool. I'm going to answer this question before we go to you, Todd. Is it true that they have started asking for down payments to lease the truck? And is it on every year model? All right. So the new down payment is $2,500. You can finance that for 27 weeks. There is a $200 charge to administer the $2,500 down payment. So you're paying $2,700. That is done in 27 weeks at $100 a week. You can do it that way, or you can pay the $2,500 up front. Either way you want to do it, you can do it that way. But yes, there is a down payment now. Todd, talk to us about straight lease.
Okay, so the straight lease, if you went with a brand new truck, it's a 4-year lease. Obviously, the truck I got was about 9 weeks old, so it was 4 years minus 9 weeks. The balloon payments are significantly higher on a straight lease, and there is an over mileage fee um, that could be applied if you're over 2,500 miles a week. However, that does get applied to your balloon payment at the end of the lease if you decide to pay the truck off. Maintenance on these trucks is at your choice, anywhere from 3 cents to 20 cents. Now, keep in mind, my truck had 28,000 miles on it when I got it, and from what we can tell, it should be under factory warranty the entire time that I have the truck financed. My balloon payment is significantly higher than an MRP lease truck is. My balloon payment's around 84,000. Now, what I would say about the straight lease, and this is one of the questions I always ask people when they say, "Should I do a MRP? Should I do a straight lease?" I say, "What's your ultimate goal?" If you're the type of guy that always wants a truck under factory warranty and you're going to get new truck fever every 2 or 3 years, then you probably need to do a straight lease. If you're a guy that wants a title like Jason was talking about, you want to pay a truck off, you want to own it quickly, then the MRP is definitely a great program to look at. It really just depends on what your goals are. Because I have other sources of income, I believe I can pay this truck off in that time frame. I believe I can pay the 84,000. And remember, folks, if I get to the end of this lease and truck prices have dropped significantly, and it's cheaper to buy a 4-year-old Freightliner than it is to pay this one off, I can walk away from this truck at the 4-year mark, and I can go out and buy one on my own. Or if I say, "Hey, I think I'd like another one, a new one. I'd like being under factory warranty," I could trade this truck into Swift and get another one. And it's my understanding at that point, they'll even let you do some customization on options and things like that. I haven't got that totally confirmed, but that's my understanding, is that you get a little more say so in how the trucks are spec'd and things like that. So um, I've said this in other videos. I thought about doing an MRP, and the only reason I didn't, the truck I looked at had some issues that really concerned me, and this one popped up. But there's probably a 75% chance I could have been in an MRP just like them, and it's definitely a great option to look at for a lot of people.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the straight lease you want to cover on or anything?
Yeah. On the maintenance, I mentioned that it's between 3 and 20 cents. You can pull that money out for any reason. Now, for some people, that's a plus, and some people, that's a negative. I know guys that use that to pay their taxes. They put it at 20 cents. They pay their taxes out of that account. I know guys that use it strictly for maintenance. I know guys that are applying it to their balloon payment at the end. But if you're the type of guy that you spend every penny you make, it could be really dangerous for you. You get around Las Vegas and you see you got $10,000 or $15,000 in there. They'll let you have it, no questions asked. It's a macro you send, and they load the money on your fuel card. So I would say that you need to be disciplined. I've even asked them if I could put more than 20 cents a mile in there, and they said because my financials were good that they would allow me to. But they said that you just want to make sure that you're not contributing so much to it that you're putting yourself in a bind at home, and you're not contributing so little to it that you're behind the 8 ball if you had something break down that wasn't covered under factory warranty.
Okay, we have a driver that's on the straight lease that says that they will let you customize your next truck. That is true. When I paid mine off, they were trying to get me to buy another one. So that is true that you can customize your next truck. So we got some Swift drivers in here as well. So that's good. That's good.
That's
So
good to get confirmation on that.
So that is good. Marty says, who are the trucks titled to? Obviously, we don't own the trucks. We are leasing them, whether that's straight lease or whether that is an MRP lease. Swift owns the title to the truck. At the end of that lease, if you pay off the balloon, the truck will be titled to you.
I would assume that it's Interstate Equipment Leasing, which is Swift's leasing company, but I don't know that for a fact. I haven't physically seen the title.
Yeah, IEL is what? IEL. Let's talk about our days today. I am snowed in. I am, well, not technically snowed in where I'm at, But Vail has got the chain laws out, and they've got a couple closures on I-70 east and west. And I put on the community page where I'm basically setting and stuff. I did my macro 22, told them I was running late, and talked to my dispatcher and told them what was going on. They actually prefer you to sit. I mean, they don't want you out here when it's bad. I mean, they really don't want you running out here acting a fool. They told me that load can wait. When they lift the chain laws and lift the restrictions and the closures, I will be on my way. Uh, so I parked it here at 8 o'clock this morning. I started at 5 and I parked it at 8, and that is where I made it today. Um, that is that's just where I left today. So I'm sitting here at a rest area safe and with my new chains and everything that I paid cheap for, and I'm chilling out, hanging out here just below Vale. I'm about 30 miles from Vale Pass. They started having the signs, the big overhead signs saying traction control devices needed for commercial vehicles, chain up law in effect. That told me enough. So I found this area here, and it has about 15 spots here, and there was about 5 left when I got here. It's pretty full now. Lots of people stopping because of Vale, and so I took the first safe exit that I could take, and this was a rest area. They don't have full facilities, but you know they do got a restroom and a trash can, and that's about it. No vending or anything, so you're
Yeah.
on your own out over here. But I'm about 30 miles west of Vale, and if you look on my community post, you'll see the Google map showing, and then you'll show if you are down in Colorado. And I had to call all over the place to figure this out. A lot of people might not know this. You have to go to an app called um, CO Trip. CO Trip. That stands for Colorado Trip. And if you let me make sure I got that right. Um, Gregory Spears said he's snowed in here at the Denver terminal. Um, yeah, I got food in the truck. I got plenty of stuff I can warm up with the microwave, and then I've got peanut butter and jelly and all kind. I always carry something like peanut butter and jelly and peanut butter crackers and stuff, just in case something like this happens. I've got soups. I've got water. I got enough water to last me a month in here, and stuff like that. But listen, I don't chance it. If it looks too crazy, I don't chance it. I never have. I've been out here for 20 something years. I've never chanced it. I'm not starting it here at Swift. And when it looks crazy, pull over, man. You're low can wait. And and I think they prefer you to pull over rather than getting an accident. There are 2 trucks up here on Vale turned over right now. Um, you know, um,
Well,
that is
yeah, I'm here in Wisconsin,
mhm.
Wilson, Wisconsin. I got up at 4:30 this morning. It was ice raining, so I pulled up the Wisconsin 511 road condition maps, and every bit of it was highlighted in red, which was a indication for icy roads. And at that point, I was like, I'm not going anywhere. So I just sent out some emails and stuff saying I wasn't going to go anywhere till tomorrow. Well, it so happened that was a good call because I think it's 70 or 75 miles east of me on 94, the exact same way I have to go. There was a 60 truck pileup just 60 or 70 miles east of me. That happened early this morning. And had I went, I would have ended up in that mess. And, they didn't get that cleared up until I think it was like 9 o'clock this morning. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm with you. I just I don't
I don't
chance that
chance it.
stuff, man. And I was sitting there looking around. I mean, there were trucks just moving on out 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm like, you guys are nuts. And I'm sitting here just in the back of my mind at how many of them trucks that pulled out of here got caught up in that, you know,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
or was victims of that. So, I mean, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Just keep your button at setting where you're at, you know.
Yeah. Let's see here. What's your MP mile per hour on the? All right. Curb Stomp says, what is your MPH on these trucks? I mean, if you got a camera, they'll go 70. If you don't have a camera, they'll go 68. I mean, and that's the way it is. I don't run mine that fast. I run about 60 max, 61 if I feel good. That's about that's where I get optimal fuel mileage. Sometimes I'll be at 58, 59, but most of the time I'm 60, 61, and I get optimal fuel mileage at um, at that fuel mileage. But the trucks will run 70 if you got a camera, 68 if you don't. Um, Lonnie, you want to touch on safety or on the safety talks or anything, or where you're at or anything?
Mm, Yeah, I'm headed. I thought I was going to Odessa from the yard, but I'm going to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, so a little bit more miles. But I got an open appointment. It's a live unload, so I don't know how that's going to work out.
All right. Finally, baseball season. We will touch on that in just a second after Todd tells you where he's at and what's going on with him.
So I'm in California, and if you guys have been watching the weather, they've had some bad snow out here. They've had some bad flooding out here. I'm also at a little. It's not even really a rest area. It's a wide spot in the road with some porta potties. There is a grocery store about a half mile behind me that's walking distance. Should I need something, I've also got emergency food in here. I did a 34 here, and today they were underbooked and they didn't have a load for me, but because of weather conditions and seeing the ambulances go by and things like that, I'm perfectly fine waiting here till tomorrow. Tomorrow, if there's not anything, we might look at relocating me to, or reposition me, I think's what they call it, to another location with more freight. But I'm really optimistic that we'll have something tomorrow. And it gave me honestly some time to catch up on some stuff here in the truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right. So Curb Stomp. I'm gonna go to Curb Stomp and then I'm gonna go back to him. Yes, they are forward-facing cameras and forward-facing only. And then how often do you fellows change your mindset? How do you fellows change your mindset from company driver to lease purchase? What's the benefits? All right. So you have to make this work. And we touched on this last time we did our last roundtable video. You have to forget about being a company driver. You have to completely forget about it because this is now a business. Okay? You're an LLC or whatever you are, S corp, whatever you end up being. But you have to totally forget about being a company driver because you're used to just fueling whenever you want to, fill the tanks up because it feels right. You got to forget about that because now you're paying for the fuel and now you're paying for the truck and now you got to make sure your tire pressures are good and all the things you didn't do or most company drivers don't do. I'm not saying you don't do it, but most company drivers don't check their tire pressures and things like that to get even wear and more wear out of a set of drives and things like that. Now you have to base your fuel based off your consumption and your MPGs. So now we're buying fuel accustomed to what we need, not just because we want it. It's because of what we need, and um, you have to change that mindset into becoming a business owner. And some people can do it, and some people can't. And I was just one that was able to do that. And these guys, obviously, all these guys were able to do that as well. But I was a company driver for right at 10 years before I bought my first truck. And then from there on, I've always owned a truck or leased a truck. And the biggest hurdle that you will see in this is fuel. People leave their paychecks in the tanks.
Yes.
You go home with full tanks. That's a big, especially today's fuel prices. That's a lot of your paycheck sitting in that tank. I go home with a quarter of a tank. That's my empty. I go home with a quarter of a tank of fuel. That's it. And I plan, you can absolutely plan it to where you go home with that. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it might be a little bit less, but I plan on a quarter of a tank. And you can absolutely do that. And you have to run your numbers. You got to know your numbers. You got to know exactly what this truck is costing you. You got to know exactly what your fuel consumption is, how much that fuel's costing you per mile. All those things go into a tally. And then when you tally that out, you get your net profit. And if you run this business right here and use your own fuel card, which I recommend the RTS fuel card because it gives you a line of credit, and Todd has one that he recommends, and he can tell you about it right now.
So I've got one called ES Advantage, and it's honestly more of a prepaid thing. And so I usually save around $1 a gallon. On their website, they'll say 55 cents. And if you go to any of my videos, I've got the link to apply for that fuel card. It's real easy. They ask you about 4 or 5 questions. Then they'll call you. You can load your card with as little as $100 to get started. And I think right now they're running a promotion where they give you $35 back when you load your fuel card the first time. But typically, um, you're gonna have a big savings. I usually save $350 a week off a pump price. There's some other benefits. You can use it for maintenance. At one of the truck stops, they don't want me to say publicly, you get free drinks and free showers, and so there and triple points. I'm sure you guys could guess who it is. Their logo is yellow, but I can't officially say their name. But it's something to look at, especially if you've got some credit issues and you don't think you would qualify for a credit-based card. Um, Obviously, both cards, Jason's and mine, they're taking his out probably weekly. So you got to be able to pay your bill. You go in there and you can't pay your bill, they're not going to continue to extend credit to you. And on mine, if you can't afford to load it, they're not going to extend you any credit. I generally keep about $1,500 on there, and then it's cheaper if you ACH load it. So I put 1,500 on it. If I spend 600 on fuel, then I send them an ACH for 600, and then by the time they get it, it keeps the cycle going. So I'm basically the same as paying at the pump.
My fuel card is the RTS fuel card. You get two different options here. You can have a no credit check card, which is going to give you like 15 cents, 12 to 15 cents at Pilot and Flying J. No credit check, give you about a $2,500 what do you want to call that, line of credit. Now the RTS Pro card, which is a Fleet One card, is good at Pilots and Flying J's also. I average anywhere from, what would you say, Tim, 90 cents to a $1.80. I mean, it is crazy the amount of discounts that we get. I have the one that you have to have the credit checked for, and I got a $4,200 line of credit. I never use that much, but that's what I've got it at. And I love the thing. And they cutoff is on Wednesday. They take the funds out Friday. Whatever you use from Wednesday to Wednesday, basically, or Thursday to Wednesday. And then, it is great, but we have a non-credit option as well. Don't have to load the fuel card. It is lines of credit, which is what I like to work with, is lines of credit. Also helps your business credit by working with lines of credit. It helps your business credit grow. And there's so many other options with lines of credit. Even our no credit check one will help build your business credit. And that's why I go with RTS Pro. There'll be links to the fuel cards in the description of this video. If you guys want to choose one or the other, you can choose either one you want to go with. But to go back to the question, you just have to think like a business. You have to absolutely think like a business and run your business like a business. Because if you don't treat this like a business, you will fail. And the guys that fail at this are the ones that take that newfound wealth. Well, I'm bringing home $2,500 a week, or $3,000 a week, or $2,200 a week, or whatever that is. And they're not used to making that kind of money. Well, you still got to pay the tax man. Don't ever forget that. You still got to pay the tax man. But then even after they paid the tax man, they go out and buy bass boats and four-wheelers and all kinds of other things and go get a bunch of payments and stuff like that. So they get accustomed to living this life. And then if they don't run it like a business and watch your fuel, watch your maintenance items, control your cost per mile and know your cost, And if you don't know those things, you're not going to be making that 1,800, 2,200, 2,500, 3,000 anymore. You're going to be making 1,200, 1,100, 1,000. Now you can't pay your bills because you're not thinking like a business person. Next thing you know, you got to go turn the truck in. So we're trying to help you avoid from having to go turn that stupid truck in. We're trying to help you stay in business, and that's what these roundtables are about, is helping you stay in business. We're here to help you stay in business. We're going to throw some Swift talk in there. Obviously, we would appreciate it if you put us down as a referral. Obviously, we would appreciate that. Whoever you choose on this live feed, it doesn't matter. Whoever you choose, and we absolutely want to see you succeed. So for me, and I know Todd does this as well, I will mentor you all the way through this thing, all the way through it. I've had 5 recruits come to Swift since I've been here. I have not publicized this at all. I have not been out here asking for referrals or anything like that. 5 people just knew where I went, and 5 people came here. And I have mentored them the whole way. I talk to them all the time, and I keep in touch with them. And sometimes we break it down to text. Sometimes we talk on the phone. Sometimes we do email. But I'm always there with you to help you succeed in this. And there's different ways to succeed at Swift. There's different ways. There's OTR. There's ERF. There's the I-35 corridor. There's dedicated routes. There's all kinds of different ways to succeed here at Swift. And you just have to pick the one that's right for you. Now, I tell a lot of my guys to go OTR because it's taller miles, it's bigger paydays, and it's less deadhead. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's less deadhead. I have done the ERF. It's just more deadhead. And I came back to OTR. But, there's just so many different ways to make money here, and we're here to help you all the way through it. And so anybody else want to touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own preference of what they want. So, I mean, Swift has got lanes that'll suit about anybody of what they want, And just because the ERF didn't work for you doesn't mean it won't work for the next guy. You know what I mean? So people shouldn't kind of base off, well, you didn't like it, you moved back to OTR. So, I mean, there's a whole different slew of lanes here that people could run that could suit them. You just have to find your niche here. That's all.
Well, and I think when I came here, I was expecting the big company mentality to where if you don't like it, hit the road. And I've met a lot of nice people here that if you tell them you've got a situation or something you're looking to do, they're going to try to work with you as much as you can. Now, I had a guy, he told me he wanted to make $3,000 a week and work 3 days a week. And that's not realistic. But if you've got realistic goals and expectations, and you can articulate what you're looking for in a pleasant way, they're going to try to work with you and try to appease with you. For example, that MRP truck I told you that I didn't like, they could have just said, well, that's what it is, take it or leave it. But they didn't. They said, well, let's try to find something else that works for you. And I know, like, Jason went from OTR to that ERP and then came back to over the road. They're going to work with you. They had, so that's the thing. It's not just that big company mentality where they don't care if you're happy or not. They just want a warm body in the seat. And it's, when I call in or go to a terminal, a lot of times they know who I am unless it's a terminal I've never been to before. And so it's still kind of got, I wouldn't say a small company feel to it, but it's definitely got a medium company feel to it.
Very laid back. I mean, I have to be honest with you, very laid back. I mean, very laid back. Like today, I was expecting to get cussed out because I didn't want to throw no damn chains. And 2, I didn't want to drive on this snowy ass mountain. And they were just like, hey, perfect, man. We see where the shutdowns are. We see that the chain law's out. Park it till you feel safe. And I was fully expected because this load was supposed to be there today at by 1800. And they were just like, hey, just tell us when you think you're going to be there. Well, I don't know when I'm going to be there because I don't know when they're going to lift all this stuff. So I just sent in a macro 22. And on that macro 22, I said, this is just a guess. I have no idea. And I put it out for tomorrow afternoon sometime. But I have no clue. I have no idea when, but they're not calling me every 5 minutes like at some other companies that I've been at. They're not calling me every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes saying, "Well, what's the conditions? Or you ready to get back on the road? Ah, yeah, you need to throw 5 sets of change right now." No, I mean they're not doing that, and this is really really laid back, man. We do everything on an app. It's called Swift Point app. They've got a couple other apps. That's mainly one that I use is the Point app, and then we've got a website called Swift Owner. Of course, you got to have a login and password to get into that, but um, that's where we see our settlements and stuff. So everything's just real time. And the other thing I like about this place too, and I've been here just a little over a month. Wait, how long have we been here? No, 2 months. We've been here over two
Couple
months.
months.
Yeah, a couple months.
A little over
And
a couple months.
yeah, a little over a couple months. And so 2 months and about a week or two. And so the thing that I like about it, I can see my pending settlement. So if I see something that's wrong on my pending settlement, all I got to do is call rapid response and say, "Hey, what is this?" They'll either explain it to you, or if it don't belong there, they'll take it off. And that's the beauty of this place, man. I love it. I've never in 23 years been to a place that gives me a pending settlement that I can look at all week long. And if there's an error, I can call. Not that they're all there. There's been like 2 errors, and that's just because ROs were under warranty. And so I was getting hit for it, and I said, "Hey, I was under warranty." They said, "Oh, yes, you were." Boom, it's gone. And I went and looked at my pending settlement 5 minutes later, it was gone. And that's the beauty of this place, man. I love it. I just absolutely love it. I hope I can. I mean, I have aspirations of one day going to get my authority again, but I hope I can stay here for a long, long time. I mean, I hope I can lease a couple trucks here. I mean, this is it's a great opportunity for me. I love this MRP because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm one of these guys that rode down the road, biting their fingers, wondering when the next major breakdown is going to be. And that's why I didn't like having my authority because I got no help. I got none. I'm on my own. So if it's a $20,000 breakdown, you better have it in credit or cash. They don't take IOUs. So um, so I'm riding down the road with my own authority, just biting my fingers and wondering, God, when is the next? I mean, Tim knows. I mean, he's known me, and I'm always worried about that. And here, I don't have to worry about that. I call On Road, which is our breakdown service basically, and dude, they have somebody come right out to you and fix you, and hey, we'll work out the details later. I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
And I used to work for a company, and it's not the one everybody's thinking of, about 3 years ago, that you would have a payroll issue, and it'd take them, I'm not exaggerating, 2 or 3 weeks to get it fixed. The
Mm-hmm.
longest I've ever had a payroll issue take here at Swift was 2 days. I mean, they're on it. Somebody's calling me. Somebody's emailing me. Here's what we
Yeah.
found. We'll fix it. If it's a large amount of money, one time it was $3,000. They said if you need it now, we'll put it on your fuel card. If you don't need it, we'll put it on your settlement. And a lot of companies that I've worked at, and one especially I can think of about 3 years ago, they would slow walk you for weeks and sometimes months. Oh, we got to get an approval from this person. This person's on vacation. Oh, we got to research this. We're waiting on a company to send us that. And Swift, it's just I remember talking to Brett Stewart, which is the vice president of owner operators at Swift, and I was telling him how impressed I was. I said, a big company, I expected y'all to drag your feet and it take forever to get things fixed. And I was telling him how impressed I was that when I call with an issue, they take it seriously and they jump right on it, and they're polite about it. We're not having an argument
Mm-mm.
or them accusing me of lying. It's just let's get this fixed so we can get back to work.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, that's the beauty of this, man. I've had no issues that I wasn't able to take care of in 10 minutes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've never had any issue. Like this week's paycheck, I I just got my change the other day and it already showed up on my settlement as an RO, and I was like, I don't know what this RO is. They said, "Well, you bought chains and some straps." And I said, "Okay. All right, cool. All right. No, we're good." I just wanted to know what it was. I mean, you don't have to take it off or nothing or whatever. Can you use my maintenance account to pay for it? Yep, absolutely. We'll transfer the funds, and boom, 5-minute phone call. I was done. And
Yep.
it was just that simple, man. That's just crazy, man.
And people don't realize what a stress reliever that is when you don't have to fight with the company or worry about it, when you can just focus on running your trucking business. So
Yeah.
that's good when they can take care of things like that quickly.
Okay, we got a question from Grandpa's Farm. It's been up here for just a second. Does Swift provide you with the best fueling solutions along your route? Every load that you
Yes.
get, yes, absolutely. Every load that you get will have 2 or 3 fuel solutions on it. Sometimes, depending on the length of the load. Like my Utah load had 3 different solutions on it. It'll tell you where to buy, how many gallons to buy for IFTA purposes, all kinds of stuff like that. It will tell you everything you need to know. Now, do I always follow that? No, because I have my own fuel card. But if I was using Swift's fuel card all the time predominantly, I would probably follow that because it's going to keep me in check on IFTA and stuff like that. But yes, they do give us fuel solutions, and that's what you're looking for. That's fueling solutions.
And there's also an app you can use called Fuel Book if you're going to use the Swift card, and it'll show you a lot more of the mom and pop places, and you can compare that to what it shows on that fuel solution. But I agree with Jason completely. As soon as you can get your own fuel card, whether it's mine, whether it's his, whether it's some other one, you're going to see big savings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, dollar plus. I'll just be honest with you. Swiss fuel card is good at the terminals,
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
I use it at terminals. But if I use it at a truck stop, I'm not getting a big discount. I mean, it's like 5, 6 cents. I mean, it's not very much. So I try to use my own fuel card. Of course, I'm cash flowing the fuel, and I try to use my own fuel card. And they don't care if we use our own fuel cards as long as we send in our receipts or you send them in your monthly statement. Either way, so that you are counting your IFTA on your fuel purchases. So if you use your own card and you want to just send in the receipts, you can scan those in with every trip, but you have to put cash fuel, your unit number, and your driver code on it. And you just write cash fuel on it. Otherwise, you can wait till the end of the month when your fuel card comes through and print them out that set statement and scan it in with one of your trips, and then that gives them your whole IFTA for the month. I think I'm right on that, Todd. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Somebody was asking on here about how they pay the fuel surcharge. That's on loaded miles only. It's not on
Yes.
empty miles, which is pretty standard in the industry. I don't know too many companies that pay a fuel surcharge on empty miles. And I know when I was running broker freight, I didn't get anything for empty miles.
Mm-mm.
Curb Stomp says, do they offer you any health insurance? Yes, there is a plan that they offer. I don't know the name of it. It is not Swift specifically. It's through somebody. Do you know the name of it, Todd?
I
The health.
don't. I go through healthcare.gov, and I think you guys do too.
Yeah.
And you can get a better plan through healthcare.gov
Yeah.
than what you're going to get
I've,
through them. But for convenience, you could do it if you just wanted something that was settlement
Yeah.
deducted or something through Swift.
I
yeah.
researched it for one of the drivers that came here that I referred, and it they do have it. It's not through Swift. It's through an outside carrier. I do not know the cost, but yes, they do offer it.
Somebody's also asking on the straight lease if Swift's plates are okay, or do you have to buy your own? They actually provide you the plates on either lease,
It's
and so
part of our
that's another.
compensation.
There's a lot of little hidden things they do that really make them an advantage over a lot of lease purchases. And frankly, I don't think they advertise it enough. If I were them, I'd be putting videos out all the time and doing print ads talking about the things like them paying your tolls, the things like them paying your plates, things like that, because
Yeah.
it's the little things that add up.
Yep.
Yeah. Gregory says, and Tim can attest to this, for dedicated routes, they pay fuel surcharge both loaded and empty. So that is true. They pay fuel surcharge loaded
Yes.
and empty on dedicated routes.
On all dedicated accounts or just on some of them?
Uh,
I don't know about all of them,
I
but
don't know about all. I don't know
the
about all.
few that I have ran, it's paid because it's considered all loaded miles. You go
Oh,
in
that's true.
and you
Yeah,
come back.
I
Yeah.
did a Costco load like that, so that is true. on the
Yeah.
dedicated accounts because they have a special deal. But it's also, I believe, when you're doing dedicated, it's usually pretty well forced dispatch too as well because they've got a contract with that customer.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you get a choice of load or anything like that on the dedicated. You
No.
just get to be on the dedicated route. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, somebody wants to know what is your average gross week? Who wants to put that out there?
So this week my gross was $4,900. Now keep in mind I had a 34-hour break on there. I had some downtime in Oklahoma City when they replaced my windshield. But usually gross is around 5,000, 5,500.
Okay.
By the time I finish this week up, I'll gross 49.38 is where I'll be.
Okay. And
49.38 gross.
I was at 3,400 this week, but you got to remember I started on Friday, so I was at 3,400 this week. Now my average is somewhere between 39 and 44. I mean somewhere in that neighborhood, 45. That's about a good average. But it doesn't matter what you. This is what I
That's
tell
right.
people too. It doesn't matter what you gross. It matters what you bring home. So control your cost, control your expenses. You will be better in business for that. Everybody worries about these gross numbers. Don't worry about gross, worry about net. And you will be better in business for that. Always control your cost to up your net. That is using a fuel card to lessen the amount of fuel that you're paying. That is driving like you got brains and not using a bunch of dang fuel and stuff when you don't have to. That is what this is about, man. You have to run this like a business. Don't worry about what you gross. Worry about
Right.
what you net. What you bring
Yeah.
home is more important.
Yeah, I saw some trucking companies on Facebook was where I saw it. They were they were advertising, oh, you can gross $10,000 a week, but by the time you took out all their little
Yeah.
fees, then you
Yeah.
were the trailer fee, the over mileage fee, the this, the that. Then you're down around 1,500 a week, and you can brag, I made $10,000 this week, but really you didn't. You made 1,500, and you'd have been better off doing like me, Tim, or Jason at 4,000 to 5,000 gross a week,
Yep.
and taking home 2,000 to 2,500 than you would making 10 and taking home 15.
Yep. And I try to tell people that every day, man. Why did you go to Swift, man? You could have opened up your authority again because this is easy use. Let me tell you, I'm dropping and hooking freight. I'm using their customer base. I'm using their fuel card and my fuel card, their fuel card at terminals because they do got really good deals of fuel on
Yes, they
terminals.
do.
And I do use their fuel card some. I will admit that I am not 100% on my fuel card. I use their fuel card at terminals. I do that, and I'm sure Todd does too. But I use their fuel card at terminals. Absolutely. Now there has been some times that um, they wouldn't take my fuel card at a truck stop, and I've used Swift's fuel card. They just wouldn't take my Fleet One, and I didn't research it, and I just showed up, like an idiot. But I didn't research it, and I use Swift's fuel card for that. But for the most part, I'm using my own fuel card, and I thought that the RTS would work at this mall and Paul, but it didn't, and so I used the Swift there. Um, you know, Chris Lacey wants to know what is a good take home after everything. I'll let you guys touch first, and then I'll go last.
2,500 to me is a
Mhm.
is a
No, no,
good
no,
take
no,
home.
no, 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 no. What are you taking home?
Oh, well, I haven't been here enough to even know what I'm taking home yet.
Okay. All right. What are you taking home?
So me,
Good.
I average. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was about to say, I mean, a good average for me is anywhere from like probably 22, probably on a good average. I mean, some weeks going to be more, some weeks a little less, but on average, probably around 2,200, 23.
Yeah. I'm gonna touch on this tax thing in just a second. Somebody said we have to hold back 30% for taxes, and that's not the case. But I will discuss some things with you in just a second. But what do you say, Todd? What's your average net?
So most of the people I talk to are anywhere in the take home range of 2,000 to 3,000. a friend of mine, James, that I mention a lot, his first 2 weeks back at Swift. Now, granted, he didn't have a truck payment. He brought home, I think, 3,100 and 3,200. So you take out a $600 truck payment, he's around 2,500 a week. And so you can make 2,500 if you have a good week and things go right. You can average that, and that's usually what I do. But like Tim said, 23 is a good area. Let's face it, the economy's kind of weird right now, and you're going to have good weeks and bad weeks in OTR.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm sure Tim will tell you there's going to be weeks where he probably had $3,000 weeks, and then probably some weeks where he had $2,000 weeks. But you're going to be somewhere around that $2,500 range, 23 to 25, as long as you don't have any mechanical breakdowns or excessive
It's just
deadhead.
it's just depending on the area that you're at.
Hmm.
As you know, in this time of the year, area is a big thing because I'm up here around Wisconsin, Minnesota a lot. So my running is based on Mother Nature at this point. So you got to take into consideration of being shut down for an extra day, or like you just said, breakdowns. I just had the breakdown last week with this thing, with the radiator and stuff. So, but yeah, on a good week, yeah, probably 25. On a not so good week, maybe being shut down for an extra day or something like that, or just whatever, probably 18. So, but on a good average, it's probably 22.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say I'm somewhere between 2023, somewhere in that neighborhood. That's a good rough number. Somebody asked how many miles we're averaging. I'm averaging anywhere from 24 to 28. That's about roughly where I'm averaging. I mean, I've seen guys that I've recruited here getting over 3,000, 3,032. I think the highest one guy got was 34. That's probably hitting the top of the mark, I would say. But um, I 20. I'm happy with 25 to 2,700. I'm thrilled with that. I'm happy with that. I don't want any more. I mean, if I run 3,000 miles, the world's coming to an end. But I mean, I'm more of a 25, 27, 2,800 kind of guy. That's just who I am. I've been out here for 23 years. I don't get excited over 3,200 miles anymore. I just don't.
Yeah.
I've become complacent in my career, I guess. But if I had to run 3,200, I would. But if you ask me what I want, 25 to 27 is what I want.
Yeah, I had just a smidge over 3,000 this week, but I expect next week to be less because of sitting up here with the weather and everything. But
Yeah.
I'm like Jason. The older you get and the longer you do this, I just don't sit around and worry about those things. I do the right thing day after day, and things seem to work out. And
Yep.
I used to get stressed out and worry about those things, but it's going to be all right. And I've got savings, like we're always preaching to you guys about having a nest egg. So if I have a bad week or two, it's not going to sink the ship.
Hmm. Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, so, anybody want to talk about anything else? We just went over the hour mark. I try to cut these off at about an hour, maybe a little run over, and then we can talk about it next episode. We're going to bring this to you every Wednesday, so we'll be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central to have another feed and um, tell you guys more about what we're doing here, and hopefully we'll have the same characters, maybe one more, and then maybe we'll start opening it up to have maybe one person at a time extra come in and talk about their experiences and talk about what they're doing at Swift and things like that. So definitely do that. Let's see if we got any other
I
questions.
I guess the only thing I would touch base on is going back to newer people that's wanting to come into the leasing side of it, coming out of the
Hmm.
company side.
Hmm.
Um, it goes back to getting out of that company mentality of running 7, 10 days and then going home for 2 or 3 days. if you're coming over here, you need to get out of that. In my opinion, you need to get out of that 7 to 10 day mentality, and you're gonna have to prepare to be out here at least at minimum 2 weeks. At minimum 2 weeks. You really need to try to push for like 3 weeks at a time, uh, to try to be as profitable as you can. And then when you go home, really no more than 3 days.
Yeah, I'm turning over a new leaf, and I've talked to Tim. I'm turning over a new leaf. Every now I was like wanting to stay out for like 2 weeks and go home for like 3, 4, 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
I've now turned a new leaf. I'm going to stay out for a month, and I'm going to go home for like 4 or 5 days after the month. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing these month stints, and that's where you maximize your money. You
You
can't
do.
go home every week out here. I mean, you just can't go home every week and expect to make really good money at any lease, not just here, but
No,
anywhere.
you won't.
Um,
You won't. You'll do good just to cover your costs,
mhm.
and you're not really going to take home much of anything. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to start trying the 5 or 6 days after a month, and that will give me like a day and a half per week that I'm out. Give me a day and a half off per week, basically. And I'm gonna try that for a while, and because we got some things going on at home with medical bills and stuff like that, that I really need to bank as much money as I can. And so, a lot of people don't know about that, but and I'm not going to go into it, but we've got a lot of things that we're paying for right now, and so I need to stay out more, and so um, anyway, that's my new thing. I mean, this I've been out for 6 days right now. I'm not going home to the 30th, so I'll be out here for 28 days this time, and I have to go home because we're going on a cruise. But so I'll be off for like 12 days, but that's an anomaly. That's an anomaly, um, and so I'm going to start doing this month thing, and I got Tim out here to keep me company. I got Todd out here to keep me company. I got Lonnie out here to keep me company. I got Dave out here to keep me company. I got my people to keep me company out here, and me and Tim, we're the ones that get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know about you, Todd, but me and Tim are up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and we're running wide open at 4 or 5 in the morning. We keep each other awake in the morning.
Yeah.
What time you get up, Todd? Are you
I,
like Lonnie? Are you a Lonnie?
I'm probably more like Lonnie. I run late into the night, usually till midnight or 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I get up and start usually 9 or 10 in the morning.
Well,
Um,
Lonnie's got
you,
his midnight buddy then, right there.
Lonnie's got his midnight dude, man. Because
well,
Lonnie
like
rose out of
this
bed about 11 or 12.
like this morning, my phone started ringing at 6:30 in the morning, and it rang. And I had my ringer off, but people are finding ways to get around that, so I'm still making adjustments to my phone to where I can sleep.
Yeah, me and Tim are up at normally get up somewhere between 4:30, and we're normally on the road by like 4:45 to 5 o'clock, depending on if we got up at 4:15 or so. I do a 15-minute pre-trip every morning, and yeah, I just do that. I don't even know what they require here as far as pre-trips. I've just been doing 15 minutes, and then I do like a 5-minute post trip, and that's just what I've been doing here. Nobody said anything to me about it, so that's just what I do. Do you know what they require by chance, Todd?
I don't. I know. I do whatever it takes. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's short, but I try to keep a minimum of say 6 or 7 minutes. But I've had some that are 20 or 30 minutes, and I would caution anybody around having a set time for a pre-trip and a post-trip, just because it looks suspicious to DOT if every day you're saying it takes you exactly 8 minutes or exactly 10 minutes to do your pre-trip and post-trip. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to log it like I drive it, and but it's as a bare minimum. If the weather's horrible outside, I'm going to at least have 6 or 8 minutes on there. And if the weather's good or if I'm in a safe location, it may be 10 or 15 minutes or even longer, depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes I do 11 or 12. I mean, sometimes I do 15. I mean, it really just depends. I mean, sometimes I hit it a little bit before, but for the most part, I try to do 15 though. And that what I've always been told is if you do like a 6 or 7 minute pre-trip, I've never had this happen, but I've been told this. I've been told that DOT officers sometimes say, "Oh, you did a 6 minute pre-trip. Show me how you did that."
Yeah.
And then you got to show them in 6 minutes how the hell you pre-trip this truck. And really, to be honest with you, you can't do it in 6 minutes.
Well,
And I mean,
in honesty, you can't do it in an hour and a half. If you did everything required for a pre-trip, it'd be a long drawn out deal. So I would say that's true in any case.
yeah. I mean, is there a sign-on bonus, and why do we need a down payment? You need a down payment because that's what they require, and no, there's not a sign-on bonus. You know, I mean, we can only tell you what they require. Let's see.
Well, generally, when you're starting a business, it is going to cost you some upfront money.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'll let. Okay, this is the last question I'm going to take. Doug, are you guys giving choice of loads, or do they have the load board up and running? The load board is being tested right now. We don't have an exact date as to when it's going to be put out to the public. They are putting more people on weekly, is what Todd said earlier in the video. Go back. I invite you to go rewind it and go to our load board segment. We talk about Todd talks about the load board for about 5 minutes or so, and gives you all the information you need about the load board. We do not get choice of loads. Like, they don't send us 3 or 4 loads to choose from. They send us one. You don't like it, you can decline it. So hopefully that helps you out. All right, guys. I'll let you guys say goodbye. Todd?
All right. Thanks for having me. We'll see you guys next week. You guys catch me on Tuesday. I've got a really special guest coming up this Tuesday on my live.
Okay.
All right.
Tim?
All right. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I can't think of anything else to say that we haven't talked about for this feed. So I mean, other than that, yeah, I'm good.
All right, Lonnie, what you got?
I really don't have anything. I'm looking forward to doing training here at Swift. So I'm going to give it another week or two, and then I'm going to apply for that. So, but everybody needs to be safe out there, no matter what. So,
All right, man.
Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate y'all guys coming in, and I'll close it out, man. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All righty. Thanks.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. We really didn't get a lot of trolls. We had some good questions tonight. I thought we did good tonight. I thought it was very productive. I think we had a pretty good turnout tonight. I think we got up to about 125 at one point, which will go up as we do more and more of these. It'll go up, and we're going to do this every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. We won't miss, so I'll be shut down and ready to go, even if it's just me. But we will do these every Wednesday night, and we will invite some of you guys on that are Swift drivers. So tell other Swift drivers. We will invite you guys on to tell your Swift story as well. It don't have to just be about us. It could be about you too. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks for watching. Again, every Wednesday night, 7 p.m., the Roundtable. We'll see you guys next time. See ya. Share this out. Put it on your Facebook or whatever you want to do. Share it out. So we'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds, and this year our holiday